what's up, you guys? Rasati out here in Singapore. I'm so glad to come back with you. I want to talk to you about one of the posts I had on Instagram I don't know, maybe like a week ago now. It's the one that looks like a game of Othello, or I don't even know what the other name for it is, but it's like the white and black disc-shaped pieces. And the point being that you strategically place these pieces, and if you connect one end, I don't even know how to explain this. I think it's called risk, maybe. I don't know, something. But the point is that if you have a black bead at the end of a long line of white beads and you put another black bead, it kind of converts the entire line. I thought that was really neat, and I really loved that game. Although I'm not very good at it, I don't get the chance to play it all that often. But I like the idea because when I think of that game, I think of transmuting dark to light, basically. So when you take your fears, your shadow work, all those difficult things that you've lived through, all that pain and suffering that you've endured all this time, and you turn it into something positive because you've shifted the framework, you've shifted the perception of that idea. You've looked at it as if it is something that you learned from life itself. You, through this pain and suffering, your soul was able to tell you something that did not sit right with you, and you were able to take a lesson out of there. It's like the silver linings playbook kind of thing. But I wanted to talk to you about that specific game because the way I see it is, it's almost like if I am able to change one heart out there, as in take someone who is upset in their pain, really not seeing their part in life at all. It's almost like life is happening to them. They have no control over it. They're very victim mentality, very stuck in their ways, very caught up in the drama of life itself, and not understanding that these things are happening because either you allow it or you asked for it, and there is a way that you can actually change it if you wanted to. But that also means that you need to let go of some of those things that you've grown accustomed to. So maybe it's some relationships that aren't really great for you. Maybe it's some friendships. Maybe it's some situations that you continuously find yourself in all the time, and you really do not enjoy those paces. But you haven't gotten to a place where you can actually speak your mind, speak up for yourself, draw lines, say no, set boundaries, like all of those things. You don't know enough about yourself to be able to tell the other person, this is not what I enjoy, this is not what I want. So if I can change a heart so that they can see that life is not happening to them, and that people are not against them, they're for themselves, and everyone is the hero of their own story, which means you're going to have to play a villain in somebody's story at some point, right? So if I'm the hero in my story and you're the hero in your story, it means that you feel justified in the way that you're behaving, which means I need to communicate with you that you are hurting me, so that you understand, and not accuse you of being a bad person, but let you know that this behavior affects me this way because of my baggage that I bring into the relationship. If I can change a heart that way so that you see love, you see that people are doing the best that they can with what they know, they just have a lack of information, they have a lack of understanding, and this is why they continue to behave the way that they do. If I can change one heart and I send you back to your home, eventually your behavior will change the hearts around you as well. So it's almost like Othello in that way, that if I change one heart, you go ahead and you affect the people around you, and then those people go back and they affect the people around them, and this is how you spread love. It's actually how you spread hate as well, but I'm trying to spread love. So I want to talk about that because I think it's a beautiful concept. Not many people understand what it is to transmute dark into light. For example, if I look back at some of the difficult things that I've lived through, I know from the movies the ideal couple goes through everything together, right? As in they laugh and they joke and they smoke and they talk to each other, and they enjoy everything about life. What they don't show you in the movies, unless they're about to break up or whatever, they don't show you how people have a really tough time. They fall apart, they hit rock bottom, they really look like they're about to kill each other, or separate or whatever, and then somehow they find a common ground to stand on again, and they slowly build back the pieces of their life. You don't always see that. You saw it from the beginning in A Walk to Remember, where they had to build it from scratch, where it was one person that saw love everywhere and another person who was just stuck in their ways, and her heart changed his, so he built his life around what she was showing him. Let's see, The Notebook, they had a really pretty okay time. I think they had a really amazing passion, that they really enjoyed each other's company, and they had a lot of separation in that journey, but eventually when she had forgotten who she was, he was able to put those pieces back for her and read her journal, because I think she had a feeling that this was going to happen anyway. But even then, it's not like they broke apart and came back together. It's like they never really lost each other until this illness kind of pulled them apart. What other movie am I looking at? There aren't a lot of movies where there's an infidelity, where they really had a tough time working through the trust issues and the communication and the triggers. But eventually, what I would love to see, like, this is everything. My idea of love was based in movies because I didn't really have a really good example at home. But eventually, what I saw was movies coupled with my own experience taught me that there is a silver lining to everything. It's just a matter of if you have the courage to lose sight of what you have, go into uncharted territory and hope for the best, hope that things will work out. A lot of times we're so afraid of what we don't know that we'd rather stick to what we do. So in that regard, I want really badly for my work to affect people in a positive way, for them to be able to see love wherever they go, no matter what, because ideally it makes for such a pleasant experience when you walk into the presence of someone who really does see love and light and is peaceful and can actually draw you into their peace as well. And that's what I aspire to be. That's the kind of person I really want to become. I tried really hard to be that mom on the block where everybody came over to my house and they hung out. It was for selfish reasons. I'm not going to lie. Even at first, what I wanted was for everyone to come to my house so I didn't have to send my kids to anyone else's houses. So I made sure that it was a safe haven, that it was a safe place. There was always food. There was enough space in each of my kids' rooms. If they wanted to have sleepovers, they could have friends over. And so I became that mom. Eventually, what I ended up becoming was that relative. So even though I had a blended family, I married a man who had children of his own. His children were with separate, moms or whatever, and I had to blend all the families together. It was really tough work, but I persevered, I struggled through it, and eventually it was one of those things where I was accepted into my stepson's family, as in his mom and her two sisters and their families would look forward to me coming to visit at family functions and, holiday gatherings, stuff like that, and I was accepted as one of the sisters, basically. So that was tough work to do. But in order for me to become that, I had to find peace for myself. I had to find the silver lining in all of the pain that I was enduring to make sure that people understood that I was not there to judge them. I was not there to point fingers. I was not there to compare myself and be like, I'm better than you, you're better than me. None of that. I was just there to do the best that I could and to be the best version of myself that I could at any given point in time. So in that regard, with this whole Othello concept, I am trying my level best to be available for those of you who might need an extra helping hand, who might need someone to lean on because you don't have someone in your life that fills that place. Maybe you had people and they walked away, or you walked away from them. Maybe something changed in your inner circle where you no longer have the people that you need in place to be able to give you the support that you are looking for at the moment. So I'm looking to be that person for people, and if I can fulfill that and show you what it's like to have peace, once you have a dose of that peace, I'm telling you, you will not settle ever again. It is a very, very different way of living when you have peace in your heart, when you have peace in your life, when you step through someone's doors and you feel, man, I'm home. I can put all my crap down, all of my trouble, my struggles, my baggage, everything down at the door, and I can come sit down and enjoy a meal. I can watch TV. I can talk about whatever, and it's okay. There's nothing here that will put me on my guard, that will make me feel uncomfortable. I can really be myself, which means you can open up and really ask the questions that you really need to ask, and that's who I'm trying to be. That's the kind of counselor I want to be. That's the kind of therapist I want to be. This is why I believe so deeply in talk therapy, because I know that nothing compares to pure love, to acceptance, to a non-judgmental space where you are free to open your mouth and say whatever comes to mind, knowing full well that it may not come out right. You may be offensive, but we're going to hear you out anyway. So if you ever have any questions, if you have any comments, if you want to get in touch, if you're looking for a counselor or a therapist, I'm here for you. I'm here to be your coach. I'm your mentor, your guide, because emotions are kind of hard to navigate. But I'm telling you, if I can show you what it's like to have that peace, you will never again settle. You will try to foster it everywhere you go. And if you can't find it, you will become it. And that's the best way that you can actually affect change. And that's what I'm trying to do. So for those of you out here, if you're having a tough time, especially through this coronavirus quarantine season or whatever, you know where I am. Just reach out. All right, you guys, I'll catch you later. And y'all have a safe night. Bye.